dance with me. What? It said something about ask me any question. Don't ask me any questions. Hello, everybody. Oh, I was just thinking, like, okay, I need to get back on subject. So today I am talking about, so the title. Now, I have had some bad relationships. My younger son's dad was very abusive, but dealing with a narcissist, it's a whole nother level. So today we're gonna talk about LR. He know who he is, Mr. Cuban wannabe. So let me see. Do, 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 do. I wish it was on the other side. I'm not left-handed, so it will not show. But yeah. So how it started. Um, I was in a support group. I'm very open and transparent because I told myself a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, I was just waiting for my kids to get old enough for them to give me permission again. Because I used to be very active in the HIV world, prevention. Well, I used to be an advocate, peer counselor. Um, I ended up quitting that because I did an ad that was supposed to be for 1 year on one bus. That's what we signed the paper. That's what it said. And the ad ended up being printed. It was an ad with like, how many were we? Like 6 women, 5 women. And the bottom said, these are the faces of HIV. Basically showing like healthy people living through it, getting along, taking medicine, being productive in the world. So I was like, yeah, I want to be a part of that. That's cool. Like, this is after I left the peer counseling job, but I still wanted to be out there. And plus, they love to use me because they could pretend that I was black and they could use me as the Latina in the photo. They had a Filipino lady, a black lady, a white lady, 2 white ladies, one old, one young, and then me. So it was actually a really good poster. And hello outdoors. Um so anyways, with that, I was looking for support on Facebook. Like, I don't feel comfortable dealing with babes. That's the place that I used to work. It became very divisive, very groupie like. Like, if you weren't in the in crowd, you didn't get Christmas gifts. Like, they actually, when I moved back from Florida, they actually stole all my kids' gifts and my gifts, went through the closet, gave me what they had. They usually get donations like socks and lotions, and they just gave me a whole bunch of random things. And I was so disappointed because the girl that I used to work with in the office, like, we had separate office the second time I worked, and she was the only one that I thought that would have my back. And but she was so thirsty to be with the crowd of the it girl that Nicole was the one that acted like the boss. No matter who was the boss, everybody was like kissing her butt to be like next to her. And I didn't get it. Like I was like, I'm not with it. Like I'm not kissing nobody's ass. If I don't understand something, I don't want to do all this paperwork. Like the second time I worked there was more about numbers. The first time I worked there, computers weren't such a big thing. We had computers, but it was more about the people, like get on the phones, check on check on this person, check on that person. I had a list. And then once I got comfortable the first time, now mind you, I got this job a year after finding out I was positive. So, hello, Stephen and Winston. Um, so I was pretty overwhelmed. I felt like, how am I? I didn't know how I was going to do the job. My boss, Jesse, at the time, saw a gift in me just because I attended the support group a couple of times. And I guess they were watching me interact with people. And the first time they actually talked to me about joining and being like a peer counselor. And I was like, well, I don't have a degree. Like, I didn't go to college for that. They're like, no, no, no. We're about like actually people, and you have, we see that you have a gift. Let us say the ABCs. What? Okay. Right. You're about to get blocked. What? You gonna keep going? Oh my God, he is. Let me block this person. Hold on. Remove. Let's see. Can I block? Hide this user from this channel. Okay, there you go. Um. So, anyways, long story short, the boss at the time saw the gift in me. I didn't even know I was intimidated. So, but once I got comfortable in the job, thank God for, oh my God, I forgot the lady, Deb. Oh my God. I forgot her last name. I think it was Hudson. She held my hand, kind of, not literally, but she held my hand through it, and she gave me the confidence that I needed to do that job. But the second time around, I was trying to go to the support group. I kind of felt like the cliquish thing, like the I don't know if she's Filipino or whatever. This lady with 5 kids, kind of like, while she got top pick, she would get, when I worked there, she would get the best of the best. When there was gift cards, she would be the first one on Nicole's list to call. She would be, and I was like, that is so unfair. There's so many. I was fighting for my Latinas. They hardly got anything. um some of the blacks, some of the other people that I liked, and I talked to a lot, like I was like, wait, what? Like, why is this lady always being called to get stuff? Like, there's other people that need support. So, and unfortunately, I was the only one speaking up. Like, everybody just turned the blind eye and just play along, and they didn't see nothing wrong. Like, they just thought it was, I was like, oh, hell no, this is not the way that Babes used to run before. We were about the people. Like, if we got a gift card for a meal, whatever, what people, everybody was included. It wasn't just like certain people being picked as favorites. So I was really like frustrated. And then it was like this graph, and we got to hit 20 this month and 30 and 50. It's like, oh my God, the pressure of hitting those numbers. I was like, that ruins the quality that we used to put into people. Like, that takes away, you telling me to only have 5-minute conversations what if somebody's suicidal? What if somebody's like, I don't know. I just didn't like the new system that they had going on. So I was like, I don't care if it's $25, $30. That's what, in 2005. So that was pretty good money back then. And even now. But I was like, I can't do it. I can't, if I can't do things the way it used to be done, just because you trying to get funding. Like it was all about getting the money, getting the money. I'm like, but it's supposed to be about serving the people. So anyways, long story short, I felt like I still feel like Seattle doesn't have support for women living with HIV, healthy or whatever. If you're sick, you got a few hospice that you can go to, a few places that you can go to receive support, but it's kind of like end of life. Like women that are living well in Seattle don't have support if they don't give in to the bullshit that Babes decides to dish out. Um, so because of that, I was on Facebook trying to see if I can find like different support system, different support groups or whatever. So I found one that seemed to be pretty cool. There was interactions and I was like, okay, this is for singles and straight, and I was like, okay, this is cool. So unfortunately, because it's kind of like a dating site, but it's not. It's supposed to be a support group, but it does say single, straight, whatever, whatever. So, people be meet hooking up or whatever, or like talking on the phone, or even if it's long distance. So I was starting the process at the time of getting my divorce and going through that disappointment. I wouldn't have gotten a ring tattoo if I didn't think it was gonna be like permanent. So I was really disappointed, really hurt. And I thought to myself, okay, why not let a few guys tell me I'm pretty, flirt with me, and whatever, boost my confidence up a little bit while I'm trying to restart my life. I mean, I literally came back to Seattle with my kids. The little one was starting Head Start. The older one was starting fourth grade, fifth grade. So, and I had a house or a place with just a couch, a little table, and a twin mattress on the floor in the living room because I was like, we might as well just kind of take turns on the between the couch and the. Luckily, my little one was small enough, so we could sleep on a twin mattress together at that time. Then my oldest son slept on the couch, and then I rotated. They slept on the until I got to build up. So my self esteem at the time, not my self esteem, but as far as like, dang, like the motherhood self esteem, I felt it felt really low because I was like, dang, like it was when we got our place, it was around October, I think. Yeah, October, November, around that time in 2014, somewhere like that. And I thought to myself, okay, like the kids need back to school clothes. Thank God that, you know, we were in Tequila and they don't require you to buy school supplies like they do where I'm at now. It's like, um, but so yeah, they provided all that. I talked to the school counselor. She was so nice. She hooked me up with clothes. There was different services. Um, my kid's school bus driver actually volunteered for a place that um, had stuff from the airport. I forgot what it's called, but basically it was a place that whatever was left on the airport gets shipped to that storage or that warehouse. And she's like, "Yeah, I made you an appointment. I'll even drive you because she knew I didn't have a car. I'll even drive you there. You can go through and pick what you want if you see stuff that you want." So that happened. Then I got a care team, and they were like, "Okay, well, you know, so and so owns an apartment, and somebody moved out, and they left computers, they left TVs, they left da da da." So boom, we got a computer touch screen and almost brand new, like it was the year before or 2 years old, and they didn't have no programs, no nothing. So we had to get that stuff. They got it for me. They hooked it up and everything, and they even gave us DVDs because at the time we didn't have internet yet. We didn't have cable hooked up. They were coming like in a month or so. So little by little, I was building up. My confidence was going up. I was getting to know the area. It takes me a while to kind of venture with a new neighborhood. I'm a little shy when I move to a new place. I like walk here. I'm like a little cat. I walk here, I walk back home. I walk here, I explore, I come back. So, anyways, that's how the narcissist caught me because I was feeling like I just wanted to flirt. And I was talking to a few people in the group and even some chicks, not like that. It's a straight group. But I was making friends, and we were joking. We had a little group talking about the guys, and so it was fun. Like every night we chatted about the group, and or every other night or every other weekend, whatever. Yeah, I like this guy. You like that guy? Oh yeah, I talked to him. Da da da, and they would give me hints and clues if they already talked. This guy's into sneakers, and that's it. He ain't got nothing. Nope, nope. Don't even go there because he's nothing. I was like, oh, okay, but nobody knew this guy that came at me. At first, he was just commenting under my comments. I was like, okay, he caught my eyes. I clicked on his profile. I was like, okay, he's cute. Um, and I was already kind of having friends. I had two friends that I was talking to, and I was very honest. I was like, I'm not looking. Working through a divorce. I'm really not looking for nothing. I just wanna friendship, and if it develops into something, then it is what it is. So when this guy first talked to me, he's hit me up or sent me a message. I was like, oh hey, or maybe I sent him a message first. I think he did first, cause he wouldn't talk too much in the group, in the support group. So you never know. I was like, maybe he has a girl and he's just there for support or whatever. But I think he hit me up. So I was like, hey, what's going on? What's your story? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, I have an uncle that's positive, and I'm just here to kind of learn and kind of get an idea if I could help him, give him information, blah, blah. I said, well, why isn't your uncle in the group instead of you? Like, why isn't he in here? And I don't know what he told me. He probably made up something. Then we, you know, a week goes by and we're talking every night or something, or texting throughout the day. Obviously, I gave him my number, and we're texting and talking and having fun, laughing, and all that stuff. All of a sudden, he calls me one day. He's like, "So, what are you looking for?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not." I told him the same thing. I'm not looking for anything serious. I just recently left my husband. I'm still trying to figure out the divorce now that I'm not in the state. I'm not in Florida where we got married. I don't know if I have to fly back and get divorced there and apply for the divorce there, or if I could do it here. So I'm just doing the research. So I have too much going on. I'm starting over. I got 2 kids to think about. I don't need a boyfriend or any headache right now. So I believe at first, when we first started talking and before I gave him my number, I told him that and he was cool. This was the first clue that I was dealing with a narcissist. All of a sudden, he has a problem with that. No, I'm not looking for no friends, blah, blah. I was like, okay, well, cool. Like, we don't have to talk. I don't know what he said or if he just kept talking to me and then it was a month later, we're still talking. So I was like, well, maybe it wouldn't hurt because me and my ex husband at that time, we were completely done. Like, he was already moved on with somebody else, thinking he had her pregnant. So at that time, I was like, maybe it wouldn't hurt to talk to one person. And it's not like this person is in my state, so I don't have to take it too serious. And I know how to be respectful. If I'm just talking to one person, I'm not going to be sneaking around talking to this person and that person get to know multiple people. But I have to know that that person is serious too. Like, if I'm not talking to nobody else, you better not be talking to nobody else. I don't want no little friends popping up or cousins and all that. Guys love to say that somebody's their cousin or a little friend, a new friend. But so yeah, it goes on. All of a sudden, we're talking for a year. He's like, you know, I want to meet you. I want to see you. I want to be with you. Da da da. I was like, I don't know. Like, he's like, I can come out for your birthday, celebrate with you, get a hotel down the street or something. I just want to meet you. So I was like, okay. I was planning to do something for my birthday with some of my homegirls. I forgot what I was planning to do, but I did have plans. So I was like, I guess I can do that with my girls another day. And my kids were already going to be gone. I forgot what happened, but I think the school had, I think my foster mom was keeping my kids for more than just that weekend or my birthday weekend. But either way, so I was already planning on the kids being gone because I wasn't going to have my kids meet a stranger. Like, hell no. But I was like, okay, if he gets a hotel, what's the harm? The worst decision. I should have just stopped it at the point that he forced himself on me as far as a relationship. Like, if I said no, if I said I didn't want a relationship at that time, that I wasn't ready, I should have said, well, you don't have the patience to wait for me to get a divorce and get my head straight, then I guess you're not the one. If I would have cut it out there, I would have been safe I would have been okay. I wouldn't have put up with 2 years of hell. Because even though he wasn't in the same state, whenever he visited, he drained the hell out of me. And if he wanted to call 25 times to talk bullshit or ignore, that's the other thing, that narcissists will gaslight you, then ignore you, or love bomb you, then ignore you, make you wonder, well, what the hell did I do? And then you didn't do nothing. It's just the game that they like to play, that little zoo, 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 zoo. But at first, they have a mask. And this fool told me when we first talked, I think after a month or so, he's like, yeah, I've been watching you for a year. I said, what? That was a little like, and I remember feeling like, that's weird. What do you mean watching me? He's like, after we became Facebook friends, I looked through your pictures. I got to know a little bit of you. And, but no, what he was really doing, he was studying me, because all of a sudden when we started talking and he was in his mask phase, he was everything I wanted and everything I needed. He was that sweet, whatever. And I was stupid back then. I used to post what I want all the time in a man and whatever, my future. So I didn't make it too hard for him to pretend, because the pretenders, um, they can become your Prince Charming because they take the time to study you, to watch you. They know how to talk to you, what to say, how to be, and how to make promises that they don't intend to deliver. So on my birthday, he comes, the kids are gone, whatever, whatever. Then he's like on the phone a lot. The next day, we're hanging out at the house because we're supposed to be doing something. So my neighbors are like, "Oh, it's your birthday. Oh, we gonna go to the store, get you some drink." Da da da. All of a sudden, he flips. The mask falls off. He's like, "Oh, these trash." I forgot what he called the neighbor, but basically, I didn't know at the time. My kitchen window was open. The neighbors were out there. A couple of neighbors were out there smoking. I was in a fourplex, so there's 4 apartments. It's like a big house, 4 apartments. The neighbors upstairs and the neighbor downstairs, the ladies, they used to smoke. They sat outside and smoked till and talked. Just talk, joked, and all that. My window was open. He was hearing them drinking, smoking, and smoking weed and whatever. So he's like, "Oh, I can't believe you, you like being around these people, trash ass people, or whatever." Now, mind you, the window's open. They're listening. I'm cooking because I'm trying to cook for that day and the next day, because I already plan on going out, getting smashed, and coming back and having a good time. That was the plan. And he supposedly made all these plans that were supposed to be edible arrangements, flowers, limousine, blah, blah, blah. Man, let me tell you, he done pissed off the neighbors. All of a sudden, they didn't come give me no drinks that they promised to give me. They're probably thinking, fuck this bitch. She's letting, like, I think he asked me, like, are you like them? Are you trash like them? Yeah, I might. That's the other thing. They'll make up a past. They'll absorb somebody else's story. He probably told me his ex-girlfriend's story. So basically, he told me that his dad or his stepdad used to be a drunk, a beater, whatever, whatever. Now, his mom is an enabler because she should have warned my ass. She should have told me, like, look, this and that, blah, blah, as a woman. Like, I love my kids, but if they're this or that, I would warn the chick that's dating them if they're grown or whatever. Now they have little girlfriends, that don't matter. But once they're grown, if they have mental issues, I would be like, okay, are you prepared to deal with this and this? And like, this is how I talk to him. This is how I kind of break through. Like a little help, but no, she just pretended like he was normal. And she would talk to me like, oh yeah, da da da. Now, I thought it was weird that she called way too much. She texted way too much when we were together, on my birthday and then the next day. I was like, this motherfucker, is this motherfucker using the pretend thing? Like, pretend it's my mom or put mom on the caller ID, but it's actually his side bitch? Like, I don't know. But either way, I was talking to make sure that if it was a side B, she would hear me, because I was just like, I was confused. Like, I understand that there's mama's boys out there, but I didn't understand their communication and why she was so nervous about a 20, I think he was 28 at the time. Why is she so nervous about a 28-year-old going to a different state? Like, I don't know. But either way, um, so that was one thing that he tried to use on my birthday. Not only was he trying to make sure that my neighbors hated me, but he also tried to shame me. I forgot what he said about my age, but he definitely tried to shame me about. Now, mind you, when I first started talking to him, he's like, "Yeah, I don't want no kids," because that's the first thing I say if I'm talking to somebody. Hey, I told my ex-husband, I said, "Hey, I can't give you no kids. If you're okay with that, then yeah, we could talk." But my tubes are tied, my tubes are burned. I was 32 at the time, 30, yeah, I think 32, 34, somewhere around there. But either way, so I told him that from the gate, and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's cool. I don't want no kids, da da da." Then a narcissist will keep all the shit you tell him that you feel that you could feel insecure about, because you know men want to start family and this and that. A real man. A narcissist, they're not real. They're like a skeleton of a whole bunch of lies and stories, and they take other people's story and make it their own. And so to me, they're just entity. And what is it called? Entity, just like things, just evil little things, spirits walking around. They're, to me, they're not real people, because they don't feel. They're like robots. They don't feel. They got to tell their brain when to cry, when to laugh, when to express any emotion, and it's just weird. But when you first start talking to somebody and they love bomb you and they love rush you, because that's what I feel like. I never heard all the narcissist videos that I have watched, because believe me, it forces you to, after you break up with them, it forces you to learn about the narcissist type, because there's different type of narcissists. Now this fool told me what he was from before I met him. And he made it sound like it was something that you could take medicine and you're okay. So I'm like, okay. I didn't think anything of it, because I'm like, okay, bipolar people could take medicine. My mom is schizophrenic, and after meeting her, I have more empathy for people that deal with, you know, disabilities or mental stuff, mental health stuff. So I was trying to be compassionate and understanding and non-judgmental, because I'm like, okay, my mom was taking medicine, and when she was on her medicine, she was good. Now, when she wasn't, she was a whole different person. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna stop talking to you. I was at the time thinking I was proud of him for sharing that, because I'm like, not a lot of people would be open. So because he was pretending to be open about his condition, and pretending that he was getting counseling, and pretending he was taking medication for it, and pretending that it could be something that could be managed, it's not. It's not. Like, they will drain and suck the life out of you. And when they're done, you're either suicidal or forced to look deep within yourself and learn what it is, how to overcome it, and how to learn from it so you don't repeat the cycle. Luckily, I was the one that I was like, I'm not letting this fool take me down. I got kids to think about. So here it is. I'm done cooking. Now, we went to the store and I bought 2 bottles of wine. I was like, okay, you never know. I mean, if it lasts longer, he's like, dang, you need 2 bottles? Because he didn't drink. So I was like, oh, great. So I'm the only one gonna be tipsy. And I mean, it's kudos to you if you don't. I don't want to like down anybody that don't. But I don't ever want to be with anybody else that I'm sipping on wine and you just sitting there dry, like just judging the hell out of me. Like, hell no. I already got Christian people, church people that used to judge me like that on my pages. I don't need my man to be judgmental. Like, yes, I'm a Christian, I'm saved or whatever. But there's times, like, if Jesus turned water into wine, if that story is really true, then who the hell are you to judge me for wanting to drink? You don't know how twisted those people might have got. How much wine was it for 500 people? Did he turn a whole river into wine and they drank it all? Like, so leave me alone. Like, it was my birthday after my divorce, after moving. By the time he came, I had a whole house full of furniture, and that was a year later after restarting. So I was proud of myself at that time. I was like, I did that. I need to celebrate my life. I need to go out, dance, do something different. Let me tell you something. I don't know why. I'm so glad that now there's Ubers and all this stuff, because he claimed. Now, mind you, he said he had all these things arranged and set up, and that's why he was on the phone every day before my birthday. Every time he visited or whatever, he was on the phone, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, so when should I get ready? Like, what are we doing? Oh, it's a surprise. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to tell you. I'm like, okay, I'm done cooking. It's 6 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. What's up? Like, what are we doing? When is this ride coming to pick us up? Oh, it fell through. The edibles fell through. The roses fell through. I was like, okay, at this point, I don't even care. We done went to Ross. I got my new outfit. I'm ready to get in it, squeeze my big old legs in these tights, put these heels on, and go and sit pretty somewhere. If we go to a club or whatever, I'm just gonna sit pretty, because I was wearing some high heels, like huge. And I don't do that every day, so I can't do that now. Oof. Even a little heel hurts everywhere. But either way, back then I could do it once in a while. So I'm looking cute in my burger. I got my nails done already. I have my little ponytail or wig, whatever I was gonna wear, ready. Everything We were gonna match burgundy and black. Boom, boom, boom. Couple of the night. This fool says at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, "Oh, I'm taking you out to a place, a fancy restaurant, but when I call the taxi company, they say they don't come around this area at this time." Now, mind you, at that time, I was already a bottle and a half in because I didn't understand why he was pissing off my neighbors. I was cooking, dancing, in the mood, and then he started judging me. He's like, "Wow, I didn't know you drank so much." And then I said, "Bitch, you saw me buy the 2 bottles." I didn't say bitch, but I'm like, "You saw me buy the 2 bottles, and I told you if I drank him, I drank him. If I, depending on what we're doing and how awake I need to be." But I'm like, "You got me, right?" So like, even if I'm tipsy, you got me. I if we are going in a limo and they're gonna wait for us to get out whatever we're doing, then I can just bring some slippers in, leave them in the limo. When I come out, I can change and be cool. And so yeah, so then at this point, I'm embarrassed. I'm frustrated. I'm like, you know what? At this point, I don't give a damn. I'm gonna order some pizza and call it a fucking night. It is almost, I think at that time it was 8:39, whatever. I said, I don't feel like going nowhere. I'm tipsy. I just want some pizza, lay down, watch some TV, cuddle, or whatever. Like, I don't even want to go out no more. "No, no, please, please, I have a really big surprise." I'm like, "But how are we going to get there if we can't even?" You say you had a limo, that didn't come through. You say you have flowers, that didn't come through. You say you had edibles, that didn't come through. And now we can't even take a taxi somewhere. So why, what do you want to do? Like, I got these, I said, "I'm not wearing these damn heels. If I got to walk," there was, like, when you walk down in those apartments that I used to live in, it was just like rocks. It wasn't flat. It wasn't. And then so he's like, "Yeah, we're going to have to take the bus. It's like close to the mall." I'm like, "Oh my God, this is so embarrassing." So you want me to get dressed in these tight ass pants that's going to squeeze my back? In my head, I'm thinking, he wore me down. Because I was like, "Nah, I'm going to lay down." So he lay down. "Come on, come on, come on." And he was just yapping, 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 yapping in my ear. I was like, "Oh my God, you are so annoying." At that point, I just wanted to kick him out and just be done. Like, call my little pizza service and be done. And just chill, watch some Netflix or something, and chill by my damn self. And, take a bath, go to bed. But no, he cornered me in the corner in my room. Come on, please, please." I'm in the corner. The wall is right here. It's a corner. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so tired. No, I don't want to go out." Da da da. Then I was thinking, like, this feels like it could become a dangerous situation. Like, I felt like he was not, like, I, at that point, I felt unsafe. Like, I told this guy, "No, I don't want to go out." And he keeps pressuring me. Thank God that the kids weren't there. And I'm like, this dude is really still a stranger. Like, what the hell did I do? I ruined my birthday. I could have gone out with my girls and had a great time. And I know that when my girls say they got me, they got me. So, because if I got them, I got them. But at this point, I feel stuck. So, everywhere I go, he's just right there, right there, right fucking there. And I'm like, I I I felt like I was going crazy. Like I needed a mental break. Like I was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like why is he just right here? Like he's just right here." I go to the couch, he's right there. Please, please go get dressed. We're gonna be late. Da-da-da. I was like, but you want me to get on a bus. And my outfit is not like, it's not like I had a coat. It was really cold that night. I just had kind of like a little, I don't know, a little cover, a long cover that went down to my knees. But still, it wasn't made for to be out there like that. It was meant for get in a car, go somewhere, get in somewhere. That's what that outfit was made for. So I'm like, I went into the bathroom. I locked the door. He would not let me go out of his sight. I don't know why. At that point, I didn't know why. So I convinced him. I was like, well, damn, can I please go pee by myself? Like, because he almost wanted to come into that. So I convinced him to let me go by myself because at this point, I'm like, I feel like a hostage in my own house. Um, and with my phone or an old phone because that was the other thing. I think he kept grabbing my phone or something. I don't know. I couldn't get to my phone for maybe because he was right here. Um, and I dialed 911 and I pressed send to call. And by that time, he was rattling the door, just rattling the door. And I'm like, dude, what? He's like, well, I don't hear nothing going. Like, what are you doing? I said, I just need space. I just need to breathe. Like, leave me alone. And he's like, well, are we going to go, so I can still call the place and still let them know I'm coming? Because I did make a reservation. Bullshit. Bullshit. Because he, he basically wore me down. I And he even pretended, because that's the other thing, narcissists, like I said, they don't have emotions. But when I came out the bathroom, I was hoping that by that time the cops were already coming, because the police station is not that far away from where I was. So I was like, okay, hopefully the cops will come soon and I can say, this guy, he's visiting me, but he's harassing me. Can you please ask him to pack up his bags and leave? Well, that area, I guess the cops don't give a damn. Because I was trying to talk on the phone with the phone being in the drawer so they could hear that I was in distress without telling him that I was calling the cops. I was just talking like, oh my God, can you just let me breathe? Can you please leave me alone? And I was talking loud enough so the cops could hear me. Well, I don't know what happened because by the time I looked at the phone was hung up and no cops came. So then I was like, okay, fine. By this time, he's cornered me in my room again. He's fake tearing. I don't know how he made himself cry, but he had tears coming down. And this is when I knew something was wrong with him for real, for real. As soon as I was like, okay, fine, he had this evil smirk that just peeked through real quick. Like, got her. And I was like, the fuck is wrong with that? Mind you, right before that, when we were going to the stores, I was like, okay, I want to get my nails done. He's like, oh, I'll pay for it, whatever you want, whatever design. Da, da, da. So I pick a design at the nail shop. Now, he says it's okay. Like, yeah, those look cute. It was like a crisscross design, and it looked cute to me, the length or whatever. As soon as the lady starts gluing the nails, he walks up to the lady and me. He's like, yeah, I think that design is kind of too hood. I said, what? I'm not a hood chick, so like, I don't, the design to me would go with my outfit that I already picked at Ross. And I was like, I already had in mind, it's black and burgundy, it's cute, whatever. To me, it was classy. So I was like, okay, fine. You don't like the length, I'll get the length shortened or whatever, but I still want the design. He's like, you want it on every now? You know how he's so embarrassing, so embarrassing. He's talking loud in the salon. Everybody's turning to us because he's complaining about the price of it all. He's like, well, if you get every design, that's going to be this much. And if you just get, just burgundy, then it's this much. Why do you want to spend my money like that? Now, mind you, before this, he begged me. He's like, no, you don't have, because I was going to get the money. I didn't like to pay with cards back then. So I was going to go to my bank after going to Ross, getting my outfit. I was going to go to the bank and get money out for the nails. I had it. So I knew what the price would be or roundabout with tip and everything. So I had it. He's like, no, 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 it's your birthday. That's my treat. Da 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 da. Only to get to the nail shop and bitch and moan like a little girl about the price and about the design and about this. Not only bitch and moan, but embarrass the hell out of me because they don't care about embarrassing themselves because they don't have emotions. They want to make you look dumb, stupid, whatever, whatever. So then we on the bus going back with groceries and stuff to cook because I was planning on, like I said, cooking. So I had food the next day and the next day. So if I was hurting or tipsy or whatever, I didn't have to worry. My kids were coming back in a couple of days, so I wanted to have leftovers for them too. So I was cooking, I was planning to cook a lot, which I did. So I was like, okay, well, I'm cooking. It's my birthday. I'm getting a little two bottles of wine, whatever. He didn't say nothing at the store, but when we got home and the neighbors wanted to buy me drinks, and I already had two bottles, he's like, "Dang, how much?" And I didn't know you were an alcoholic, and I said, "What?" You know that you can actually store wine and drink it whenever you want. Just because people are offering me drinks doesn't mean I'm gonna drink it all tonight. And if I do, and it's my fucking birthday, like what? But after he left, you know, he love bombed me again, convinced me that it was just a mistake and he's not really like that. He's working on it. He's going to counseling. He's doing this, that, and that. So I'm like, okay, whatever. All I'm thinking in my head is like, well, good bitch, I'm never gonna see you again. We can keep talking on the phone, but at that point I was like, I'm gonna talk to other people because I need this fool out of my system. Like whatever he told me, I realized then it was not true. I kind of started looking into the love bombing thing because I heard that a lot. So I was like, okay, what is that? So it's basically when they just telling you stuff that they don't mean that to get you to feel something, feel more for them than you should. That's my interpretation of love bombing. So, um, a year or two go by, then he's truck driving. Now, mind you, I had a support group that I was in that my cousin started, What's for Dinner or something like that. And I would post my food or whatever. And I would invite people to that group because I wanted the group to be fun. So he was there, a couple of my exes were there, a few of my friends, girl and guys, were there. Now, one of my ex, he's off and on thinking I'm his wife, off and on thinking he wants to be with me, but off and on he act like, oh, I'm just scared of the health thing. I'm worried about losing you, blah blah. So I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah, okay, whatever, whatever. But he has, and still probably will, have a special place in my heart. Like the connection that we did have when we talked and when we dated was very special. So he would always have that. But if I'm talking to somebody else, it is what it is. He knew that that was my boyfriend. One day, they decide to get at each other over one of my dishes. Oh, I think I think my boyfriend, the narcissist, said something about, "Oh, that looks yummy. I can't wait to try some." And the other guy, that I'll call him Ann, Mr. Ann, was like, blah blah blah, and he was like, "That's mine." And he was like, "Okay, good luck eating something about HIV." Da, da, da. And I was like, I I messaged him. I was like, "Okay, I know you guys were going back and forth, and I was trying to have my cousin block you both because it's like it's too much. That's a public forum. There's other people I don't even know in that group. It's my cousin's group. That's very rude and disrespectful. Like, why would you guys do that?" And Mr. N was like, "Well, talk to your nigga. Da, da, da. He came at me, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "But why would you put my health stuff out there? Like, yeah, it's okay for me to talk about it, but I talk about it in spaces that has to do with me, not other people. Like, I would never, it's a freaking dinner group. Like, it has nothing to do with health or me. It was my cousin's group talking about food or dinner or what you want to cook or what you cooked and all that stuff." So I was very disappointed in Mr. N because I thought he was more mature than that, but I guess not. Maybe he is now. I don't know. But the narcissist, he was like, "Oh, da da da. Why would you talk to your ex?" Da, da. I said, "Look, like I tell everybody else, I have my kid's godfather. He ain't going nowhere." At the time, I thought. And I talked to my oldest son's dad. He's not going nowhere. We have a kid together. And some of my exes are my friends on Facebook. It's not like we talk every day, but they are on my Facebook. And sometimes I invite them to different things. Now, I invited him before we met, so that has nothing to do with what we got going on. You guys decided to get in it. Now I have to leave the group. I had to ask my cousin to block both of them. And it was just embarrassing if people saw or whatever, but whatever. So, all that to say, I still, for some reason, they do brainwash you and make you feel kind of codependent on them. So by this time, I was already like hooked because he love bombed me so hard for a year. And after my marriage failed and I was starting over, he told me all the things I wanted to hear. And he told me he was that person that I wanted to marry. And I was like, okay, well, I guess, I could find a real love, a real person. Like, he had me believe in all that. Now, when he started twisting everything around, the fact that I couldn't have kids, "Oh, yeah, you're 32, 33, whatever I was. I think I was 30. No, I was 32 when I got married. So I was like 34, 35 maybe. Yeah, and I'm young. I could still have kids that are. I said, "Wait a minute, motherfucker. Like, I already told you that when we first met. So what are you talking about?" So I wasn't the one, but I feel like if he was in my state, the way he did me on my birthday, where he cornered me and this and that and wouldn't let me breathe when I needed to breathe. But when he wanted to be on the phone for 2 hours with his mom and then a friend and listen on the couch, he didn't want to be bothered, then that's fine. So I feel like I would have it would have done a lot more. he would have done a lot more damage if he lived in my state and he can just show up at my house and show up at my job or show up at the school, at the kid's school, if I wasn't talking to him. But thank God I ended up moving out of that area, not because of him, just a better opportunity for better school for my kids. So I felt like, okay, yeah, we could talk on the phone, but I ain't messing with him like that, and looking at him as a husband. Like, I saw what happened. I knew that the mask had fallen. I knew by that time that he wasn't the person that he was presenting him. I just wish I would have listened to the videos that I listened to after I broke up with him about the core. He's a corporate narcissist. Yeah, there's like, I think, 8 different type of narcissists. So um I wasn't that serious, da da da, but then I fell into, because I moved into an area that I wasn't really feeling, but I thought, well, maybe this, I was struggling again. So here he come, Captain Save a Hole, even though I wasn't a hole, but Captain Save him with the love bombing thing, and I fell for it again. Not, I didn't believe. I just let myself feel the feelings, but then I fell in love with him again. And I knew in the back of my head, I'm like, he's an asshole. He's not right in the head. Like, I can't help him. I don't think he's taking medication, because he wasn't right the whole time. He would wait until, like, they hate to see you happy. So, like, the times I was cooking and dancing, here he come with the bullshit. Or if I was on the phone, all of a sudden he had to ask me a question. When I was getting my nails done and joking with the lady, he was sitting in the waiting area like, oh no, I gotta interrupt this. Like, you can't. And then at the nail shop, this is the other embarrassing thing that he did. There's signs saying bathroom exit back there. He comes, he could ask the lady at the front desk, he could ask the lady that was cleaning the other basket. No, he comes to my lady, interrupt our conversation, because he didn't even say excuse me. He just, where's your bathroom? I was like, that is so rude. Like, I would naturally say that to anybody, I don't care who you are. So then, instead of saying, well, I didn't mean to be rude, let's just. And I was like, why didn't you ask anybody else? It's like, well, I'm asking this lady that. He got loud again. By this time, there was no customer. It was just the workers. So I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. But I still, he kind of talked me down, just wore me down to go out. We were on the bus. I was so embarrassed. I was sitting pretty in the bus with them big ass heels at 9 o'clock at night, in the dark, cold, wondering, okay, where's this food taking me? So we get off the bus, we walk to the mall. He's like, yeah, this way, da da da. So I think he did at least research the restaurant that we were going to, because he walked me right there and he's never been there. So I was like, okay, at least he researched but I don't think you needed a fucking reservation. And by the time, actually, it might have been 12. It was so late that the restaurant was closing. I think they were about to close in like 10 minutes or 20 minutes. I don't know. But he convinced them to let us in. Or maybe they were closing in an hour. I don't know. But it was late. So it was 10, 11. I don't know. Because I was tipsy and I was just so tired of him wearing me out. And then I was worried about my neighbors. I wanted to apologize, but I knew that if I apologized for what he said, he could embarrass me with the neighbors, and then I still have to live there. So I was like, I'll just explain to them like tomorrow what happened. Um, so we get to the place. Now, mind you, it was a really good restaurant. I want to go back there. They had these potato pancake looking things. Oh my God. They were so, I wanted 20 of them to take home. Like, they were so good. I don't remember I think I ordered the most expensive dish just to make him pay because I'm like, you didn't want to pay for my fucking nails. You wear me down. You try to ruin my buzz. Like, I'm gonna make you pay for this dinner. And you better not say you don't have it because I'm not doing dishes. You're gonna be left doing dishes. So then afterwards, he's like, I said, well, I don't know. Do you plan on getting a car? Or like, what you doing? Because I seen taxis pick up people. Mind you, I was new to Tequila, and I heard that Tequila was uh, a very dangerous place or whatever. And so I didn't know. At that time, I was like freshly just there. I didn't know if taxis were scared to drive there at night. So I believed him when he said the taxi service said they don't drive around this area at nighttime. This motherfucker pulls out the taxi number, calls the taxi. But then he gets mad at me because he tells the taxi to pick us up on the other side of the mall. Instead of telling the taxi, like, look, this is where we are. We're at this restaurant. Pick us up here. So, of course, the restaurant was waiting for us to finish because they were closing. So here we are waiting outside the restaurant, sitting, freezing cold. He's like, why don't we walk? I said, walk where? They're letting us sit outside. I'm going to be cold no matter where we are. He didn't have a jacket. I think he just had long sleeve. Um, but they are so robotic that he didn't even, I don't think he even felt cold. He was just, so at this point I'm like, this is the worst birthday ever. I don't know if I was turning 35, 34, I don't know, but it was the worst birthday ever, and worst birthday company that plans that I could have. Well, I didn't make the plans. That's the problem. I did not. My homegirls make the plans, and I didn't make the plans. Because if I made the plans, believe me, I would have been out the door by 9, having fun somewhere, whether it was a club or comedy place or somewhere, a bar. I would have had fun, no matter what I planned. Because I don't come out the house just to waste time and take buses and shit. But I didn't have it because I thought he had it. So I already spent my money on other stuff and whatever. So, yeah, we get home. I'm tired as hell. I just want to take a shower, go to bed. Here he comes. More wearing down, more wearing down. But anyway, so that passes. I move to a new place. I'm like, okay, refresh. But I get depressed because the area is, the schools are very different. My oldest was having a hard time. So, and I had to do so much work just to make the school counselors do their work. I had to fight with my youngest school because they didn't even serve breakfast. Like, I was like, what? This is supposed to be a better opportunity. So I was depressed because I felt like I was moving to give my kids a better chance at school and life. Let me check what, okay. And I felt like I made a mistake. I let somebody at the Section 8 office convince me that this would be a better opportunity for my family, my kids, and all that stuff. And then I was like, damn, I should have just seen the signs. If I didn't get into the area that I wanted to the apartment that I wanted to, I should have just took that as a sign and begged my the owner of my apartment, my place, to let me stay and been done with it, and I would have been happy. But either way, we kept talking. He was love bombing me, so I was like, at that point, I thought I could control myself. I thought, okay, I'll just let him tell me what I want to hear, and I'll know in the back of my head, like, this is not going to be serious. This is not going to be somebody I look as a future husband. This and that. Well, that didn't work because slowly but surely they wear you down to the point that you do start believing it. It's almost like a brainwash. It's almost like when you're in a cult and you don't know it, all the lies that they tell you and the fear that they install in you. And like, I don't think he said you'll never find anybody better than me, but he insinuated that a lot. And you tell somebody something enough times, it's gonna be in your brain, whether you believe it or not. You start maybe feeling it, like, well, yeah, maybe da 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 da. And so he was like, I'm a different person. I'm going to counseling. He showed me some receipts, either of going to counseling or taking some kind of medicine, or he told me some information about the medicine. So I was like, oh, he knows the name of the medicine. He's taking it this many times a week and it's working or whatever, whatever. So I was like, okay. He convinces me that he wants to. Oh, that's why I got on the Nico stuff, because Mr. N, because he was obsessed. Once he got into it with Mr. N, he was obsessed with him. He's like, oh yeah, he ain't that. Oh, he's a trucker. Oh, then I know what company he works for. Da da da. I was like, huh? Why are you still talking about this dude 5 months later? Like, it's over. I don't talk to him. He's not in the group anymore. I'm not even in the group anymore. I started my own group about remedies, and then I added food. Just made my own thing. Separated myself from that group, and he was still on Mr. N. He was stuck on him. I was like, what, do you like him or something? Like, but he was so jealous. And that's the other thing. Narcissists they have to feel like they're the best. They're the best you ever had, not just sexually, but just everything. So if I made a comment saying that, oh, this is sweet, my ex used to do, like, he would make it seem like I was wrong for sharing, or like, how dare you? I do it better. So he felt like, because me and Mr. N had that type of connection, he felt threatened by him. So all of a sudden he has his truck driver's license and he's driving. And I was like, that's weird, because you went from your career to that. Is it because Mr. N does it and you want a copycat? But at that time, I noticed a lot of people were starting to go, like a couple of people that I used to talk to, all of a sudden, they were truck drivers too. I was like, what the hell is going on? I mean, they do make good money, but, it's just weird that at around that time, almost everybody was turning into truck drivers. But I know he did it. He was in competition with somebody he didn't even know. And I was like, there is no competition. Like, you'll never have the spot in my heart that he does. In my head, that's what I was thinking. I was like, it's totally different. Like, it's a different type of love. So it is what it is. Just like there's nobody that could compare with my first boyfriend in Seattle. Like, he'll always have that spot in my heart that it's like he was my first real boyfriend. So Like, it's stupid for somebody to try to compete with that and try to recreate those memories. Like, it happened, it can be recreated, it can't be duplicated. So, like, get over it. It is what it is. Everybody has a past. Like, you have exes that you felt certain things for that you're not going to feel for an next person. So, it is what it is. Like, it would be stupid. It would be like me trying to be my ex's ex-wife just because they had 12 years together and we only had 3. Like, that was no, I'm me. I'm me, and if you like me for me, then that's what it is. Like, and whatever connection we have will build up on that. Like, that's how relationships go. But narcissists can't get that through their head. They want to be that person so bad that they'll get those jobs, that they'll start maybe dressing like them. They'll find out what the fucking perfume they wear. I don't know. I don't know how deep his research went. Like, I'm sure he studied Mr. N probably for a couple of years. Even after we broke up, he was probably still looking on his pages. I don't know. So I thought it was weird, but I was like, okay, whatever. It's only for a couple of days. And he was like, well, I really want to meet your kids this time, blah, blah. I was like, oh, I don't know about that, but okay, we'll see. Maybe they'll be at grandma's house. Maybe they'll be here. I don't know. But I was like, okay, I did plan on them going somewhere, but they were here for the first night that he was here. So, he drove and he's like, "Oh, I can't find nowhere close to the house to park." So, he parked all the way in Kent, I think, Renton or Kent. I was like, "What the? So what you want me to do? Like, take a taxi?" Like, mind you, Mr. N visited, he drove through Seattle and he visited like a few months before, a few weeks before. I think it was a few months before. But I always had hope that that could work. So before me and the narcissist made plans for him to come, and since I wasn't taking him serious, I was like, okay, I still need to find my husband because I feel like I'm not meant to be somebody's girlfriend. I'm not meant to be just alone or whatever. At that time, now I'm okay. Now, if that's what it is, I don't. I experienced marriage, even if it was a rocky one. I experienced being in different type of loves. I experienced dealing with somebody and surviving them, the narcissist. I experienced a lot in that department. So now where I'm at 45, I'm okay if I don't ever get married. If I don't ever have another boyfriend, like whatever God has for me, it'll be for me. But I'm no longer chasing that. I felt like before in my 20s, in my teens, my 20s, my 30s, I felt like I had to have that to feel complete. But now I'm like, I got my kids. I'm just living. It's not, it's like, to me, sometimes being in a relationship is so stressful because it forces me to you be a different part of me that sometimes like the jealousy me the the worry about like, is this person gonna hurt me, is this person gonna cheat on me, is this person really who they are, like who they say they are, are they gonna be faithful to me, are they gonna you know be a partner instead of another child. Like, I feel like most of my relationship, I was carrying the bag. I was holding them down. and paying bills and like I didn't feel like we were partners except for my husband. Like when because we lived together, we were actually working together. Now my oldest sons, I didn't have to worry about paying when we lived together either. He was holding me down that way, but he wasn't faithful. He was out there flirtatious, had uh, a work wife. So I'm like, wait, how do you have a work wife when you have a fiance and a baby on the way? Like, no, that's not, I'm not marrying you. Like, what? When I found that out, I was like, oh, there goes marriage. You could forget about that. You could definitely forget about marriage. That's not where we're gonna start. But I felt like, yeah, I'm okay. It's more of it's more of a headache than anything. Like if I date, I date. But I don't really for a few years, maybe 3, 4, I just wanna be talking to people. I'm not gonna jump into anything anytime soon. And I notice I'm becoming more picky. Like the last person that I talked to for a couple of days, um, I got in his car. Like it smelled good. He smelled good. It felt good when he gave me that hug. Oh my God, I wish I could have that hug every day. Um, but he had like empty bottles and trash all over the floor in his car. I was like, what? What is this? Like, I didn't understand. I was like, it's so easy. I mean, put a trash bag on your little, handle thing on the car. So you could just put and take it out. Like, why do you have just. And then when I got in, he just threw the bottle in the back on the floor. And I'm like, okay. So that already, like, I was like, okay, I'm going to let this food drive me home, but I ain't talking to him. But we did talk for, I don't know, for a week or two on the phone. But I was like, oh yeah, he's too busy for me. So now I can, I don't have a problem cutting people off thanks to the narcissist and thanks to a couple of my exes. Because I used to think that you can help somebody improve their attitude if they weren't romantic enough. I thought I could just be like, oh, this is my love language. And they would just naturally start doing those things. No. If somebody doesn't have what you want when you meet them, I mean, there's certain things that you can help people. Um, the trash in the car, I made a comment, and it was obvious that he would be an argumentative person. Like, what's wrong with it? What? I was like, oh, hell no. That's the last thing. I don't want to have petty arguments about stupid shit. So I'm done with that type of wasting my time and dating somebody that's not for me. So that did help me. But anyways, the narcissist, came. I had to go pick him up. And then this fool, instead of putting down a deposit for the 4 days that he was planning to spend here, or 3 days, he would put one day at a time. The night or the when he's like, oh yeah, I want to go check on my truck. I think he wanted me to just like go in his truck because I didn't go in the first time. I was just like, okay, I'm here, come on, whatever, let's go. So I think he wanted to show off his truck, and he got in it. He drove around. He's like, oh yeah, I need gas. I was like, you couldn't do that yesterday. He drove around and parked again and did. So I was like, okay, is he fishing for compliments? Like, I don't understand why we had to come down here for this bull. So he's like, yeah, no, there's food, there's laundry, da da da. I guess it was a place to park trucks or whatever. I don't know what they're called. Truck stop? Um, so I'm like, okay, cool. He's trying to buy me food. I was like, um, then when we get home, I was like, okay, did you put the 2 days deposit? He's like, nah. Now, mind you, this food comes, he doesn't even have a suitcase or a bag, a travel bag. He brings his shit in a garbage bag. And this dude acts like he's the top of the tier, like his house is like carpets done by professional every week. That's the attitude that he puts out there. He puts out the attitude like he's just so fresh and so clean. Meanwhile, his carpets look dirty as hell. I made a comment about that. He got super offended because I'm like, you took a picture of yourself. Your outfit looks cute, but what's going on with your carpet? Is it supposed to be that color? That was a whole week of argument because he felt offended that I had something to say about his dirty carpet, looking carpet. I'm like, why don't you have a bag? Like, you can go, you make enough money, I'm sure you can go to Walmart or Ross and get you a travel bag or a suitcase. He's like, well, they're dirty. So this fool comes over to visit after not seeing me for a year or two to do laundry, I guess. So I'm like, fine, let's put in the laundry. When we go back to pay for the 2 days or 3 days, whatever it was, do you have? He made it seem like he had a suitcase. He just had his clothes in a bag because they were dirty. We get there, no suitcase. He's showing me around. Now, mind you, his truck is clean, so I'm like, okay, cool. Um, so I have 7 suitcases. So I'm like, okay, look, why don't you just take one, the big suitcase that I got, your clothes should fit there, whatever, whatever. So he's like, cool, oh, thank you, blah, blah. Now, next time you come, bring it back like it's my suitcase. I never saw that damn suitcase again, and I never will. Which is whatever, but it's just so weird to me how when don't act like you're better than what you are. Like, if you have dirty carpets, don't act like you look down on somebody drinking and smoking, because you can't talk. You have dirty carpet. Or like, if you are sitting in your bed just throwing trash on the floor or this and that, don't act like you're better than somebody that's homeless. I don't know. To me, I hate people that act better than when they have weird stuff that they do, or like it doesn't match. Like when you see his picture, how he is doesn't match, and how he lives doesn't match what he presents. You would think that he has a modern house with hardwood floors and cleaners coming in every week and this and that. Meanwhile, it looked like he's in grandma's basement somewhere with dirty carpet. So I'm like, how you judging me when I restarted and I have brand new shit in a year and you got dirty carpet? Shit. Okay, and then you don't even have suitcase or travel bag to put your shit in. You have to carry it like a bum in a garbage bag, but you judging me? Oh yeah, no. I used to let him have it. Like I did not make it easy for him to verbally abuse me. I gave it back to him. But at the same time, looking back, I was like, why did I even do that? Why do I waste my time? They have you brainwashed. It's a cycle. It's love bombing, tear you down. It's love bombing, tear you down. It's love bombing, tear you down. Finally, 2 or 3 years, I think it was 3 years in. Now, he did, for our anniversary, he did do the thing. He would send me really beautiful flowers. He would send me edible arrangements and this and that. So he wasn't cheap when it came to our anniversaries. He would do his thing. So I was like, oh, that's sweet. Da, da, da. And one thing about it that was weird, he was really good with the kids. Like he wasn't that weirdo. We only had one incident where he was around my kids and they were playing a game one time. One of the times he came, and there was something funny that happened, and my kids and I laughed, and his laugh was delayed and was weird. And my kids, like my oldest, looked at me like, what is wrong with him? So pretend like, joke, oh, He goes, oh, like it was so forced and loud, and it was late. It was super late. So my kids were like, what? That's when I was like, he's not, I'm not going to have him around my kids again. I think my kids got dropped off when I was still living in Tequila, and he was leaving like the next morning or something. So he did meet them then, but it was just like, okay, there's my kids. I'm getting them ready for bed because they got school in the morning. So it was just that quick. There was like a few minutes that they did play a game, and he got to be in the room with us. And I was in the room because I wanted to make sure that he was not weird. But he was with that late laugh. So that's when I was like, all the different examples that I gave, it was like, wow, these things are like robots. They'll make up story. You don't know what's true because they'll meet people that, will feel vulnerable and really believe the love bombing that they do at first. So they open up. They tell their stories, and he tells his sad stories about how his stepdad was a beater and a drunk, and he was a truck driver, which is funny. He became a truck driver, but I don't know if that's even true. Then I find out after we break up, and how I got him to break up, because I broke up with him so many times. I swear I did, even before he came to my new place in my new area with the truck situation. I broke up when he was trying to make me go back and forth just to wear me down. And I already knew, well, no, Mr. N came after him. He did come after him like 2 months. And Mr. N, driving a truck, he parked up north. He took a taxi to my house. There was no ifs and buts about it. He took care of himself. He even said, hey, if you want me to get a hotel, let me know. I just want to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Da da da. I want to see the kids. He did know Johnny from when he was a baby, so that's when we dated. Johnny was like 18 months. No, he was 9 or 10 months when we started dating. So he did know Johnny from a baby, and he wanted to meet my little one and all that. So I was like, okay, cool. It was so easy breezy. I was like, so there are in my head, because I couldn't tell Mr. Ann. I didn't want him to be like, oh, you have just drivers coming in and out. It wasn't like that. Like it just happened to be that way, that they were both dropping loads in Seattle, and they both wanted to stop by. And I was like, okay, well, it's not like I was exclusive with the narcissist at the time. And with Mr. N, he's never sure about what the hell he wants to do. So I was like, okay, whatever. But it was such a huge difference in the way that the narcissists try to drain me by having to drive back and forth and worry about, do we have enough money for gas, or no, at that time I had to order an Access bus. So every day I'm calling Access bus, going to this damn place, wasting an hour and a half or whatever it was because it was far away. And it takes for me with my health stuff, like sitting down, driving. I don't know why it takes a lot of energy out of me. I still had to cook 2 or 3 meals, you know, because when I have visitors, I'm not gonna be like leaving them out to hang. Like, so I be, you know, I was doing my host thing, like, okay, making sure that everybody's okay, blah blah. So, but it was so different. Like anywhere we went with Mr. N, he was like, "Yep, I got it. I have an Uber. No, let me call car, blah blah." I didn't have to worry about nothing. He even was helping me research different type of natural medicine for and herbs for HIV, and we were talking about health stuff and how I can do better with CMOS, and he was giving me a lot of good advice. So it was such a huge difference. And of course, I felt comfortable with Mr. M because I know he's not crazy. So my kids were home the whole time he was there, and they loved him. He played Uno with them. He played, he was very involved. Like, hey, what you guys doing? Playing games? Oh, okay. So he kept them busy while I um, cooked and did different things. So it was so nice. It was so different. And that's when I was like, what am I doing? Why am I allowing this person to drain my energy and take so much from me? And eventually, like, cause me to have some kind of health issue because my body can't fight it. I was like, I can't mess around with my health like this. I got 2 kids to think about. So finally, I was like, okay, this is the day. This time, when I say I'm done, he better get it. I was ready to change my numbers to move in a year or when my lease was up. I was ready to go cold turkey, take him off everything, block him on everything. I already blocked him on, by the time I talked to him about the final breakup, I already had him blocked on Facebook. I don't think I had an Instagram back then. I don't know. We might have been on Black Planet and all that other stuff that we used. Oh, MySpace. Oh, I miss MySpace and Black Planet. They were so much better than Facebook. But either way, so I already had him blocked on everything. He didn't even notice. And I was like, yeah, this is not working. Like, your situation is too much for me to deal with. I never know what the heck, like, it's not working. And he, no, no, I was like, so finally I was like, okay, since he's good with the kids and he seemed to have some kind of feeling, even if it's fake, for the kids, maybe in my head I'm thinking maybe if I say something about the kids, maybe he'll actually let me go for real. And I was like, if you can see that we're not good together, just think about my kids, please. Like, let me go so I can be here for my kids, so I can actually live and get better and get stronger because I was starting to deal with different health issues, probably because of all the stress that he put me through. And something must have clicked in his head when he heard about the kids and me having to live for them. And he finally agreed. I was like, I don't know. Now I'm thinking, why was it so hard to break up with somebody over the phone? Like now I would be like, block, boop, gone. No problem. But for some reason, even over the phone, it's really hard to break up with a narcissist. It's weird. But when he heard about the kids, he was like, okay, I got you. I understand. Now, mind you, I still had to block him on everything. And I think even my email, because he did try like a week later, a month later, some. I was like, nope. And I had to, because I think from then on, I stopped memorizing numbers. Because there was a couple of times that I was so tempted, I just wanted to talk to somebody. And not just anybody. I just wanted to feel, you know how you feel when you talk to your boo thing, or somebody you like in that way, sexually or whatever, flirt, this and that. So I just wanted that. And I had to train my brain, no, no. And I would have to hide my phone sometimes. And so it's almost like a drug. Like, they make you so codependent on them that you have to kind of bring yourself out of that feeling, like that I want. You have to kind of slowly train yourself to just not want that drug anymore, and not desire it, not need it. And I went through a period of I don't care after that. I I went to the extreme of looking like a bum, acting like a bum, because I was like, I don't want nobody to be attracted to me. I don't want to talk to nobody. I shaved my head. I was wearing these weird rags. Like, I started like telling myself, nope, I'm gonna take a long break. I didn't know it was gonna be 7 years. But I worked on myself. I did talk to here and there people, but I was like, nope, I don't want no relationship. And then I found my ex, and I fell in love with him. I had hope again. I thought I was gonna marry him. I thought he was the one. And but luckily he was a nice guy. I used to call him a good guy, but everybody can cheat. Everybody can turn at some point if they don't understand your struggle, and they think you're playing games. And it's like, no, I went through a lot of shit, and I started doing videos about my past, which I had to relive, rethink about, retalk about. So the healing process was looking very different than what I thought it would be like. I thought that once I told my stories and I got through the harder videos, that I would eventually be such a happy person again. I would be that go lucky. When I met him, I was like that. I was glad to be alive. I got through 2020. It was 2021. I was ready to live. After going to a hospice in 2019, thinking I wasn't going to make it, I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk. I was like, wow, I made it through that. I want to live. Like, I had such a hunger for life when I met him. So he met that. He fell in love with that, Joanna. Now, when I was going through the healing thing and doing the videos, I invited him in my journey. I told him about my videos on YouTube, and there was times that I was embarrassed and this, and I was like, oh my God, he's going to judge me for this. He's going to think I'm this person or evil or whatever, because I'm talking about things and people that it might sound mean when I talk about them, because they were assholes to me. So it's like, you know, but he was there. He tried to hang on, but it did get heavy. It did become too much, dealing with my insecurities and my fears and I think if we lived in the same state, it could have been different. Instead of talking about the problems, maybe we could have hugged and watched a movie, and that would have made me feel secure and comfort and looked after. But instead, we started having arguments after a year or disagreement. Then he started acting less romantic, which that's the last thing I wanted to deal with. Just a robotic type of love where it's like I have to do something for for our anniversary. I have to do something for your birthday. Then I started feeling like he didn't know me at all. Like I was like, wow, he's buying me this. Now I'm not a hard person to shop for. um I kind of hint about what I want and what I need. I'm very simple. Like I'm very practical. Like I'd rather you buy me food for my house and my kids than a necklace. Like that's the type of person I am. I'd rather us go through a field and pick flowers than you give me roses that are very basic, and everybody, it's just a go-to. It's the easy thing to do. Like I like stuff that is different, colorful, or smell like girly girly. Like my favorite perfume is pink sugar pink sugar. So it's like I'm very simple, but I felt like after that first year of like excitement and it was dying down, and I think part of it was because we were in different states, and um I just started feeling like he wasn't putting effort into it. Like I was the one telling him, "Hey, when are we gonna see each other?" "Oh, I don't work, money, I was like, "Fuck it, I'll get you the ticket. Let's go." Now what? You know? And then I was like, what am I doing? Why am I paying for a grown man to come see me? Like, if he wanted to make it happen, he would make it happen. If he wanted to make the time, take time off work, he would. So then I was just like mad at myself because I was like, after 7 years, I'm begging somebody to love me. I was like, nah, nah. But yeah, the narcissist really forced me to study that title, and it actually motivated me to think about start like how to heal myself, how to, okay, if I could break away from this type of abuse, because that's what it is, a narcissist, it's abuse. If I could break from this abuse and get myself through it and heal and take time. I think that that was the first time that I took time to myself, because I used to jump from relationship to relationship. Like, look at what I did. I divorced. I moved because for 6 months we weren't acting like married couple. Like, we weren't sleeping in the same bed. I think he was talking to people already or whatever. I was just waiting for my time to move back to Washington with my kids and be done, and then figure out the divorce. He was supposed to be the one, since he was the one that messed up and forced us to divorce. That was the agreement. Whoever messed up pays for the divorce. Da, da, da. When I got here, he was like, I don't know, I don't get it. And I don't think he would have divorced me. If I would have let it go, we probably would still be married, because he was not trying to divorce for the second time. This was the second marriage. That was mine first. But he was like, I want to have two divorces under my belt. I don't care what we got to do. We're going to work this shit. I said, there's no working out. Like, you cheated. That was it. That's it. Um, but yeah, after taking a break and working on myself and getting myself strong enough, to be happy with myself and thinking about doing my book and breaking out of my shell and telling my story, doing the YouTube videos, this and that, I end up with somebody I have to beg or show every other month, tell them how to love me. And I was like, damn, what is wrong with me? Like, why do I always have to take care of a man? Why do I always have to be the one to lead? And people keep saying, well, you don't let the man lead. It's like, well, if I let's say we're riding in a buggy and I'm like, okay, you got the leash, but we're going over rocks and we're going off to the side and we're looking like we're going to tip over. If I know how to take the rope and lead the damn horse, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to die with you just because you the man, you're supposed to lead, blah, blah, blah. So I took the ropes and I was like, okay, let's get on the rope that's smooth and let's do like, so that's life. Like, I was forced to think for myself as a little girl. I was forced to be in survival mode. So it's in me. Like, if I see something not getting done, I'm not going to wait for the damn lights to be turned off because you're supposed to be paying the bills and we got a yellow notice, a pink notice, and it's about to be up. No, if I got the fucking, I'm going to pay. So, because the guys that I'm with know that about me, they let me lead. So it's like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to let a man lead if they don't lead. If I'm the one having to suggest what to send me for my birthday, what to give me for my anniversary, what I had to pay for the tickets, I had to set the times, I had to tell you when to see me, I had to make you rush you. Like, I told my ex, I said, if I didn't go to see you 2 or 3 times, if I didn't pay for you to come see me 2 times, we probably would only have met twice. And he probably would have let 2 years go by before he came. I don't know. So, I don't know. People say I don't have the patience. People say I don't let them lead. But it's like, well, if you don't tell me the plan, I don't know the plan. So I'm making plans in my head like, okay, I don't see you making plans. I don't see you leading. So I'm going to say what it is or suggest things. And it's like, I don't understand what it is to have a man lead because either the guys that I dated are weak-minded and they let me do my own thing and they didn't care about what I did, or I had to lead, you know. So, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that after that long ass break, working on my self-esteem, working on myself, and yes, I started doing the video and it kind of brought insecurities out that I wasn't having when we first met, me and my ex. And, things. But I just figure that, you're supposed, it's for better or worse, right? You plan to be my husband or whatever. So you, you couldn't hold my hand through it and you couldn't just get over the hump with me. Meanwhile, when I met this person, we had to get over a hump on his side, and I was by his side. I was like, look, whatever. I like you. We're going to get through this. But he couldn't do that for me. So, yeah. But, even though with the narcissist, I went through a lot and it was mentally draining, I am glad that I experienced and I got to read up on it. That's when I'm glad about the internet and Google. These are the type of things that it does help because you can easily, you don't have to go to 20 books to find the answer. You can easily ask Google a specific question and it'll tell you the answer. I did so much research, like years of research on what it, because I thought to myself, maybe my little one's dad, his dad, maybe he's a narcissist and I don't know. Maybe my ex is a narcissist, like my ex-husband. Maybe he is one. My ex definitely wasn't one. I didn't mean to say my ex-husband, because I was like, they acted so cold or they did certain things. I'm like, is that part of it? But no, they were just assholes. So, um, but the narcissist, it's weird because when you survive that, it forces you to love yourself a little more, and it forces you to look at your weaknesses and get your strength up and tighten up those loose bolts, like tighten them up. So I will be forever grateful that I did survive. Not that I met him, not that I was with him, not nothing. But I will be forever grateful that I survived that asshole and that I overcame. And now I could clearly see, if I see a hint of a narcissist in somebody, be like, nope. And I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel guilty. I don't feel like, oh, I'm being mean. All that stuff that I used to feel in my 20s and 30s, gone. So I will always be grateful for him. He did not defeat me. He did not make me a skeleton of a person, a shadow, because they destroy you to the point that when they leave you or you leave them, they think, oh yeah, nobody's gonna want them. They're done for. They feel ugly. They feel less than. No, it forced me to look at the good in me. It forced me to teach myself, like, okay, to appreciate the things that I did bring to the table, like people like to say, um, and the good things about me. And it forced me to focus on my story, and it eventually gave me the strength to tell my story and to start these videos. So thank you, Leon, for forcing me to love myself in a very different way. And you didn't destroy me. You did not take me down. So here's that. But the unfortunate part is that this asshole goes around to different groups pretending like, I think I saw something about him dating somebody with cancer after me. And I was like, wow, he's gonna drive her to her grave. Like, and then I did start thinking, like, I wonder what stories he's telling her. Like, is he, then all of a sudden he wasn't so Puerto Rican, not Puerto Rican, he was supposedly Cuban when he was with me. All of a sudden he was that cheeky African, black power, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, because she's African, she's from Africa, she's probably in Africa. So he was playing a role, playing. It's almost like they're like movie actors. They'll pick up a script, they'll write their own script, and they study the person that they want to take down. They want to suck the life out of, and they come in with the mask. They love bomb this and that. Then the mask falls off. Then they show their truth, ugly self. They're so ugly inside. They're so unhappy with themselves inside. They're they hate the fact that they love to go with strong women, fighters, this and that, because they can't stand that they see something in a girl or a man, whatever, in a person that they can't feel, they can't have, they will never feel that confidence. They have fake confidence, fake arrogance, and they have so much jealousy for people. He had jealousy for Mr. N. He had jealousy for me. And he tried to make me feel like I was nothing, to make himself feel like, oh, I'm so much better than him. And that's why I talk about his dirty carpets every chance I get. I'm like, B, you can't talk about nothing about me until you get your carpets clean and you don't look like you're in a dingy, dirty basement at your grandma's house. Like, get out of here. So, anyways, that's the story about the narcissist and how I survived that asshole. So, yeah, and I'm still pushing through. My boys are big and brave, and never again. Thank God, never again. I've seen people try to come in my life. I don't know if they were narcissists or not. I know this little things that I let slide with him. I was like, oh, nope, red flag, boop, red flag, boop. So it did kind of give me a type of alert in my brain that I didn't have before. And I used to feel bad. Like I didn't want to hurt people's feelings and this and that. Whew, not anymore. I don't know if it's because I'm in my 40s or because of him, but I'll say both. Age does give you that freedom of like saying things how it is, not thinking too much about what people think about you, caring and all that stuff, worrying about what people think about you, say about you. It's whatever. So I am grateful for that. And that's the end of that story. So 2 hours. Whew. Well, I hope you guys enjoy my long stories because I don't know how to talk short. So sorry. Oh, thank you. You are pretty. Oh, orange hearts. What does that mean, orange hearts? Is that like a like? Oh, wow. Mr. Random posted 16 messages. I guess he did do the alphabet. But too bad that you are blocked and hidden, Mr. Boy. Um, I wanted to say hi to everybody. Steven, okay, I missed you. All them messages. Block, block, block. Mr. Dar, I don't know how to say your name. Some D. Or I guess that's a smile sideways. You said, hi, you're pretty. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like, share if you care. Share if you care. Anyways, after that, oof, I need 2 fans on me. And I need sippy sippy. But I don't have all that. So I'm just gonna have my coffee, watch my YouTube gossip. I'm watching, oh, by the way, like, what are you guys watching now? I'm watching Ultimatum, and, oh, what is that show? Cross. Oh my God, that's such a good show. Oh, I can't wait. And I'm watching, of course, what is it? Queens, Man of Queens, Queen of Man, with Eve that won the model contest. I forgot. But yeah, that's my eye candy stuff. The man dance and all that. Ooh. But anyways, yeah, please like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. But yeah, if you get a chance, look at Cross. I think is it on Netflix? Might be on Netflix or Prime. I don't know about channels. I don't have cable. I have the apps. But either way, yeah, Cross is a really good show. I just watched a good movie. Um, Dang it, what was it? It was about a chick that dated somebody. He might have been a narcissist. But either way, he would have all these accidents. Like all of a sudden, he hit her in the eye. She had a bruise. And after they had a baby, he threw her down the stairs by accident. They were arguing by the stairs, and all of a sudden, she flew down the stairs. What is it? Is it that's the way? Anyways, when I think about it, I'm gonna look it up right now because I always forget when I say I'm gonna put something in the comments and then I forget. I'm gonna put it in the description after I load this video. But yeah, that was a good movie. If you like those type of movies, like it's almost like I wish it was that easy to break up with somebody like that. Because I thought about it. I was like, dang, if that was real life after having a baby, he's a surgeon too. I mean, she had her own business. But I was like, in real life, that type of person would take that person to the lady to court, try to demand that she's a bad mom, da da da. I want my baby, I want my baby. It would not have been the end of that story if that was real life. But I was like, this is a good movie for people to watch to learn what is acceptable and what's not. Like, he said, how to break the pattern. This is where it ends. I think it was something about this is where it ends. Oh no, it ends with us. Oh yes, it ends with us. That's it. I think that's it. I'm gonna write it down in the comments. I'm gonna write Cross too if that's the real name. It might have something else in the title. But yeah, I was like, wow, that's a good lesson. Like she she grew up in an abusive home. She saw her dad doing all the things, and she's like, Mom, why did you stay? After she was pregnant, she was talking to her mom like, why did you stay? He was doing a lot. He was abusive, da da da. And she was like, it was easier to stay than to leave because I didn't know what I would do without him or something like that. And I was like, wow, there's so many people that stay in abusive relationship because they think they can't do any better, or they think that they couldn't survive with the person, so they just keep taking the punches literally and whatever else the person does to them. It's so crazy to me. Like, there's no way I would divorce. I ended up moving out. Now, my ex-husband wasn't doing all that, but I knew that if I stayed in Florida, it would have been harder for us to get divorced because he probably would have talked me into staying and talked me into living together and working it out and all this bull. And and plus, I knew that Washington was easier. It's a woman's state. There's more help here. The buses work better. I know the system. I know how to apply for different things. I know how to get places. There, I didn't know. I didn't know how to do much. Like I felt a little helpless sometimes. In Florida, South Florida, Broward County, it's pretty bad. Like if you don't know. And if you don't have a car, if you don't have a business, or if you don't live with your whole family, it's hard to survive down there. But either way, so, but yeah, that was a good. I think it's called and it ends with us. That was a good movie. But Cross, man, let me tell you, I can't wait till the next episode drop. I'm like waiting on pins and needles, like they say. Anyways, subscribe, like, if share if you care, like and all that. See you next time. The next title of this time I wrote what the heck I wrote in the book because most of the time I don't write the same title I wrote on the book. Um, I don't know. It says I'm supposed to talk about Section 8 in the system. I don't know what I had in mind with Oh, one more thing I see in my notes. I wrote birthday. We talked about how he ruined my birthday. I lost friends because of him. He had me convinced that some of my friends were hitting on him, sending him. I should have requested to see the damn messages. They just have you in such a loop and such a fog that you don't think right. But he claimed that one of my friends hit on him and like wanted him. I was ready to go meet her with the hammer. Like I was literally grabbing a hammer, asking her to meet up. Not even like I talked to the chick and I was like, look, this is what my man is saying. My man said that you were trying to hit on him. And I must have let it slip that she was loose like that because she did end up stealing like her sister's boyfriend at a time or somebody's boyfriend. She was one of them loose white chicks. So it wasn't hard to believe that she was doing that. Then he had me convinced how wrong some of my friends were because they were in gay relationships, but they were the biggest support for me and my kids. And unfortunately, to shut him up because they just wear you down with every topic that they decide to bring up. I was just like, yeah, I already felt uncomfortable with the gay stuff, blah, blah. I just cut them off. And I regret that to this day because I have a relationship with the girl that was married to a girl, but the guy that's married to the guy, he kind of was like, I can't deal. Like, you cut us off for no reason. I can't go through that again. So, I mean, we're still on Facebook and Instagram, but they're like, nah, we moved out of the state. We're in New York now. Da da da. Blah. They keep their distance. But the girl, we're slowly building our friendship again. Um, I'm really hoping that she does forgive me for going off on her and just cutting them off dry like that. Like, I didn't know how to explain how uncomfortable I was with the whole situation when the girlfriends were over. They were just all over each other, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't, I don't want I didn't want straight people being like that around my kids. Like, I don't, even me and my husband, we barely kissed in front of my kids. Like, I don't think kids need to see all that. And then to up the notch a little bit, being a same sex relationship. Now I have to explain to my kids. My little one is very vocal at that time. He was 2 or 3 or 4 at that time. He was like, wait, I don't understand. Why you guys sleeping in the same bed? He asked the guys that when we went over for lunch. They're like, he's like, oh, I only see one bed. How are you guys sleep? Why are you guys sleeping in the same bed? And I didn't even think about that he would automatically wonder that or ask that. So I was not prepared to answer and go through those questions. And unfortunately, instead of asking me like how I wanted to handle things, and both of those couples decided that they were just gonna tell their stories and just, oh, we sleep together, da da da. I was like, dang, you didn't even give me a chance to say, oh, they sleep head to toe or whatever. And then slowly I could tell them, like, he was only 4. He didn't understand all that. He was confused. He's growing up in the church hearing that this is wrong, that this is a sin. Let me get my kids there myself. Like, I'm the mom. So I was pissed when that happened. And then the girls, when they came over, the wife, husband one was all over my friend, and I was just like, I don't like. It wasn't even at that point. It wasn't even a gay thing. It was just about respect. Like, can you guys hump each other when you are home? Like, if it was just me, I would feel uncomfortable, but I could deal. It's just me. But I'm like, dang, my 4-year-old is so confused. He's asking me all these questions. I don't know what the hell to say. I don't know how to educate him. At that time, I didn't know. It wasn't like, I don't think the internet was that educational about it. I didn't know what to do, how to research, how to explain to him that, yeah, you heard that at church, but people are still people. Like that takes time to tell a kid that's programmed basically to believe that that lifestyle is a sin and they're going to hell. And he's confused because they're at our house and I'm embracing them. And it's like, well, wait. I go to church, they tell me this is a sin. So he's vocal. He's like, whoa, what? You guys kiss? One time we're going to a pumpkin patch. This has nothing to do with the title, but it just came up. We're going to a pumpkin patch and they're showing the wedding, the girls are showing the wedding video, and of course they're kissing, they're both wearing a wedding dress. And my little one, again, the older one thinks stuff, he just asks me later or he feels uncomfortable, but he don't say nothing. Or now that he's older, he just accepts, like, okay, he just loves people. He doesn't, he, he's really good about being plain field, like just level field, whatever it's called. But my little one, he questioned things and he's like, I'm confused. Like, what's going on? Why are you guys both wearing wedding dress? Why are you guys kissing? I was like, oh my God, I'm uncomfortable again. I don't know what to say. And they're so comfortable. Like, yeah, because, that new wifey. I was like, again, the men didn't give me a chance to talk about the bed situation. They just kind of blurred out whatever the hell they wanted. The women, and I didn't want to be offensive. So like a punk, he convinced me. He knew that I was uncomfortable. So he's like, you can just cut them off. Like, da da da. Da. I don't want the kids. He at that time he was claiming he was gonna be my husband. So he's like, if we're going to church or whatever, I don't want the kids to be confused. That I was like, yeah, I don't like to have them be confused either. Like, it's really uncomfortable for me, um, as well. Like, and I didn't know how to have that conversation without offending them. Like, I feel like it's weird because they want to be so accepted, but you can't ask them shit because everything is offensive. Like, you gotta use their title. It's her, them, it, da da da. And luckily back then there wasn't all that, but still, this was something new to my kids and I. And they were both couples were very special. But he kind of pushed me and made me feel like, no, you're right. Da, da, da. But he nagged me so much. I know you're saying, well, nobody can make you break up with somebody or stop talking to somebody. Believe me, when you're under like a brainwash situation, a cult, you'll do and say things out of your character all the time. And then when you break away from it and you kind of, it's like a snap. You snap. You're like, oh my God, that was so embarrassing. I had to go apologize to this person, that person, that. But it was already 2 years later. They were hurt. They were over me. They were like, dang, we can't even see the kids. I was like, I just need a break. I just literally, if they would have just given me a few months and then asked me, like, well, what, it's okay. It's just, if they would have let me know that they would accept my conversation about being uncomfortable and they wouldn't get offended, if I knew that, it could have been handled way different, at least with the girls. The guys, I don't think, because they were so, um I think a lot of people were rejecting them, so they were kind of like, well, F you if you don't think we're safe to be around or whatever they thought. They were kind of like, whatever, we'll move on. But my friend, the girl that married the other girl, Miss L, we'll just call her Miss L, I was, she was really, really my friend. And the confusing part, before we moved to Florida, she was dating guys. She was acting straight. So I was just thrown off when she was getting married. She wanted my little one to be the flower boy. And I was like, whoa, 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 what happened? Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's very uncomfortable to be thrown into a situation and then you cannot express yourself because everything you say, it's offensive. How do you want free speech and free this and love life and rainbows and this and that, but you can't take a question, you can't take a conversation of somebody explaining, like, okay, I need time, um I need to sit down with my kids and explain my own way. Can you not talk about stuff? If the kids ask questions, let me handle it. Like, I didn't know. I felt like anything I said would be offensive. So I just felt like the easiest thing. I'm a Libra too. I hate confrontation, and it felt like confrontation. So I ran. And he made me feel like that was the right thing. He kind of pushed me along with that. Maybe I would have taken the time and came back and apologized quicker and explained. But because of him, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but he kind of was in my head like, yeah, they're bad. It's like boom, 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 just telling me negative shit about them. And I was just like, yeah, I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm restarting my life. I want my kids to, the Bible is right and that lifestyle is wrong and blah, blah, blah. So I regret not talking to the Miss L sooner. Her wife, I didn't know her that well. I liked her. She's a funny person, but she was way too sexual around my kids with her wife, Miss L. Like, I was like, whoa. I just felt like she didn't have no respect for me, for my house, for my kids. And I was just like, control your wife. Like, I just wanted to tell that to Miss L. But again, it's like anything you say, it's offensive. Like, I would tell that to a straight couple, like, hey, dude, like, control your wife. She can do that. Get down when you guys get home. Like, chill. My kids are here. But I feel like with gay couples, you can't say nothing. It's offensive. It's, oh my god, oh my god, how dare you? You homophobic, homophobic. We need to get to the point that it should be okay if you care about me and I'm trying to understand, or I care about you. We should be able to have open conversations about what's comfortable and what's not. Because I do that with my straight friends. But it's like everything's offensive with gay couples. It's like you can't say nothing. But yet they can do and say anything, and it's okay because they're finally free to be themselves. It's like, well, that's not my fault that you didn't know you were gay, or that you were in the closet, or that you felt like people would tease you. And yeah, back then, like, that's the thing. I hate that they did feel like they couldn't love who they wanted to love, and I believe all that. My best friend in the first teen shelter that I was in, he taught me a lot about how it is when, like, his parents kicked him out at 16 because he realized I'm gay. Like, I'm not gonna date another chick. because I'm not attracted to girls. I'm gay. And he got kicked out. And hearing his story and seeing how emotional he would be crying and this and that, that taught me so much. And I was like, well, maybe the Bible is wrong. Maybe man just forced that into being a sin, because how can God create somebody that wants to love the same sex and we treat them like less than just because we might not understand or we don't feel that way? Like, I did learn a lot from Terry. He's unfortunately passed now, but and I'm so grateful because I don't think I would ever accept or think that it wasn't a sin if it wasn't for him. Now, unfortunately, I didn't handle it the best way when it was in my face, like when they were kissy, touchy, touchy, and showing the wedding video. Like, whoa, 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 whoa! You could have told me, hey, is it okay for us to show them the wedding video? Now, I know you think it's normal and it's normal to you, but I just felt like you could have had a conversation with me first before you guys decide, because it was confusing to my kids. My kids were little and they've been going to church since they were in my belly, hearing church and verses and what's sin, what's not sin. And so unfortunately, because they were taught something different than what you're telling them, they're confused, and that's normal. But both of the couples did not give me a chance to explain or to even express that that's what was going on. The man couple, he decided to just surprise me with it. He was saving himself for marriage, had a ring on the ring finger, saving himself for marriage, going to church. He was always hanging around with these four different girls. I thought the blonde chick was his girlfriend. I thought the white chick, he was black and has family in Spain. So I was like, oh my God, he's the perfect mentor for my oldest son. He's the perfect mentor. Like, he was great. He never told me he was gay. And I know people feel like, well, I don't have to disclose that if I don't want to. Well, bitch, don't surprise me with it. Like, all of a sudden, you doing all these straight things and acting straight. And then you show up to my house with a man talking about, this is my husband. My kids, I was like, all right, so, okay, okay. Like, it surprised me, and I didn't know what to say, what to do. It was uncomfortable. But the guy that he did marry was super sweet, super nice. Let me tell you, he made the best grilled cheese sandwich and soup in the world. Like, I tried restaurants. I never had any better than, like, the soup part. Oh my God, I wanted that recipe so bad before we stopped talking. But so because he was super sweet, I was like, okay, fine. So now I got two couples. I thought that Miss L was straight. I thought that his mentor was straight. They tell me, no, we're not. And here's my husband, here's my wife, and we just have to deal with it. We just had to erase the fact that we've heard for however many years of our lives that it's a sin, that it, and because I didn't want to hurt feelings, and because I was friends with the mentor, I was friends with Miss L, I had a love there as far as friendship, and they're good to us. The mentor was really good with my oldest. So I had to kind of just train my brain to be like, okay, switch. These are people. They love who they love. I'll accept The overstepping became when they just showed all this sexual stuff, sexual tension, touchy feeling, sitting on each other's lap on the couch. It's like the couch is huge, you know, because you bought it for me. It has 8 sections. You do not have to sit on each other's lap in front of my kids. Like, can you put, I don't know. I don't know. Advice. If you live a different type of lifestyle and you're dealing with somebody that's in the church or whatever, walk them in slowly. If they accept you or whatever, walk them in slowly. But I'm going to tell you, for me and my house, whether you straight, gay, or whatever, I want to see all that. Like, I had somebody else come in. They had somebody that claimed to be a them. Not a girl, not a boy, but it's a girl that wants to be called them. They're all sitting on the couch, touchy, touchy. I'm looking like, okay, now my kids by this time, they're older. I don't even know if they, I don't think that they were home. If they were home, they were in their rooms. And I didn't feel uncomfortable, but I was just like, what the fuck? Like, nobody respect other people's houses. Like, I will never. I've been with my ex-husband to people's houses. I've been with exes to people's houses. We respect their house. We don't kiss. We don't touchy touchy. We wait until we get home to do what we do. Like, what? I'm just blown about the respect part. Cause I don't care if you're straight or not. Like, don't be coming in my house all touchy feely, all kissy kissy. Like, don't. So hopefully, I won't feel bad about telling. You know what? I may get a sign to put outside my door. Take off your shoes, and I better not see you kissing your partner. I don't care what you are. It, them, ooh, ah, ooh, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. You know, it's fine to be loving. And I love old couples. If I see them out and about at a grocery store, they're sweet. They hold each other. Oh, I'll hold your purse while you do this. Or, you know, they make, it's respectful. They've been together 40, 50 years. Give them their, okay, fine. But they're not acting like they want to hump in my own couch. Like, That's so disrespectful to me. I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only one, but it's so disrespectful to me. Again, I don't care if you're straight or not. Like, don't matter. Don't do it at my house. I don't want to see it. My kids don't want to see it. It's uncomfortable. Period. But either way, enough about that. Lordy, I went on for half an hour more. Okay, okay. Bye, 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 bye. I promise I'll make it shorter next time, Lordy. Yeah, because I don't